Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the PEL Contenders Promo, the very first stage of it. I'm Toby, and you have got the pleasure of listening to me over the next couple of days, bringing you guys a bunch of teams who are trying to either make it into the contenders or trying to stay in the PEL Contenders for the upcoming season. Not just the next phase, but for this season. I mean, obviously they have to play relegations through the next season also, but I was just trying to make a point out of the fact that we are indeed done, completely done with the first season of PEL. Now, you can see the teams here. I could just mention all of them, but I would rather just have you guys be able to see them. Wildcats, of course, over in 12 is Istanbul Wildcats. Just not really named for space for the entire name. Ferrari Breaches, some of you guys may know, used to be known as the Moonwolf team. So a lot of different teams on here. And if you're new to competitive PUBG, I think watching teams like these we'll see today is going to give you a good understanding of how, I would say, how Western PUBG is played. Yes, I know that there's technically a level above in the PEL, and some of them might not make it even to contenders, but the average level of teams in the European leagues, both the Open League, the Contenders League, and in the Pro League, are really, their level is extremely high. So I'm excited to bring you these games. I have not really had the pleasure of watching any of the Open League matches throughout the season, so I am going to be in for a treat when it comes to getting surprised by all these teams, figuring out where do they all drop, where do they all go, who does this, who does that. Game number 1, maybe game number 2 as well, is going to be one of those games where I could get surprised, maybe you guys will get surprised, and I'm sure also, remember, whenever we're doing these events, whenever we're casting these tournaments or doing these tournaments, I have one rule, that whenever the game starts, whenever we see that plane in the sky, that all of you guys, if you are fans of a team, doesn't matter who it is, if you're a fan of one of these 16 teams, spam some love in the chat. Not yet. We're gonna save it for a little while. We're gonna save it for a little second. But as soon as the game starts, because we know these players, after the game is over, they'll go back and they'll look at the video and see, oh, where did these guys go? Oh, did they record my really nice kill? Oh no, did they record my team kill, or the time that I flipped my vehicle? And of course they'll find all those things. But whenever the game starts, they'll go back and look and say, oh, was our team being supported by the Twitch chat? And they I hope that they'll be in for a treat, and that you guys will live up to the promise of showing them some love in that. But TonyTeam, Intruders, Team Spirit is actually, it's kind of a fun story. Radluga and the guys, they were the first team I ever casted in competitive PUBG. I mean, there was more teams in the lobby, obviously, but back in the day, 2017, the first time I ever casted competitive PUBG on an international stage, Team Spirit was one of the teams on the server, and I think that's a little fun to think that they were there back then and they're there now as well. And of course, if you guys want to keep track of leaderboards, if you want to look at any of all these stats, jump over to pubgesports.eu. In there, you can well, first of all, you can set your time zones and stuff, so all your schedules are in sync, and also you can select your languages and all these things, and then jump over to the stats and standings and hop into Contenders Promo. That's where we are right now. You can see the exact same list of teams that we have right here. Of course, I mean, everyone is at 0 points. So even though it says the Tony team is in first place, doesn't really matter too much because they're all at 0. So they are all both in 16th place and in first place at the same time, at least for now. And if the tournament ended right now, honestly, I don't really know what would happen, because they would all be completely tied. I don't really think there's any rules that applies for how they qualify to the tournament in terms of finding a tiebreaker for who makes it through and who doesn't. But fortunately, that's not the case. We do have games coming today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and on Thursday as well. So plenty of PUBG coming your way, even though PEL is over. And everyone's like, oh no, now PEL is done. We have to wait until the Global Championship. And then we have to wait all the way until next year. No, you don't. There's plenty of PUBG being broadcasted all the time. So if you're maybe not a fan of one specific team and you only want to watch PUBG when they are playing, believe me, there are tournaments being played very often. across the world, different regions, and it's going to be super good. It's going to be really good. And also, one other thing that I wanna have you guys keep in mind is that normally when we sit and we cast from studio, I'm casting this from home, by the way. Normally when we sit and we cast from a studio, there might be a delay from when the casters cast something to when you guys actually see it, like the Twitch delay, so people cannot sit and watch the stream and know where everyone is. Now their delay is not on my part; it's on the feed that I'm casting from. Which means that after the matches are over, if you guys have any questions to me, I'm in the chat. I can do like this. I am in the chat. So if you have any questions to me after a match is over, saying, "Hey Toby, why did this happen that way?" or "Why do you think they did this?" or "How did this happen?" or whatever questions you may have, maybe something you didn't feel like was explained well enough or something like that. If you have any questions in that regard after the game's over, not right now, after the game's over, feel free to ask, because we have a little time. We have a little time after the games are done that you can ask. And I can hear. I thought it was crazy for a second, but I can hear footsteps. Can you hear footsteps too? I thought there was a mouse running around my apartment or something, but there wasn't. I think I'm hearing footsteps in game. We can't see it yet, but that should be the indicator that the game is just about to start. So so don't worry. We are starting in just a few seconds. Starting in just a few seconds. And I'm glad to see that you guys are spamming some love out there already in the chat, supporting your team, supporting me, supporting all these different things. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna be paying too much attention to the chat, because in all fairness, I am casting a game. It's like any other day. The only thing is that right now, after the games, we're gonna have like a little period of, I think, 1 or 2, maybe 3 minutes after the game is over, where I'll have a time. Like normally, I would sit and discuss with my co-caster what happened and how everything went down, and we'll see some highlights and all that. Now, since I'm by myself, I thought, you know what? Why not talk to all of you guys? It makes a lot more sense that way. If you guys have any questions, you can also direct them to The Sims. He has a sword. He's a mod in the chat. He loves answering questions about everything in PUBG. So you can feel free to direct questions to him. He is available 24/7. So reach out to him on Twitter, on Twitch, on all these different platforms. He will gladly answer all questions you may have regarding PUBG. You cannot ask enough questions, honestly. You can just keep asking all the questions that you want. He loves it. He absolutely loves it when you ask questions. And you know what? Let's start some PUBG, shall we? This is absolutely amazing. We are gonna start right now, and what better way to start off? What a better way to scramble all these teams together than with a good old, I say good old game of Sanhok. It's more like good new game of Sanhok. It's I'm sorry, Sims, you were in for it. That was your own fault. I have the authority in here. You don't. In any case, let's start with some Sanhok, shall we? It's always fun because, okay, I saw a statistic I think it was somewhere in the middle of the phase. I saw a statistic saying that 62% of all Sanhok games had ended on that eastern island, like the big island to the east, right? And I'm looking, due to that, to think, like, then you'd think, okay, 62%, that's over half the chance. Then you must see more teams land east. But look at this game. There are so many teams down south right now. We got FBI down at the washout. It's actually up on the northern island. We have huge potential. They're already engaging in fights. They were landing down in ruins, and they're shooting up towards TXC. moynick-sando has gone down already. A tough start to the game, of course. Not how you wanna start things off at all. Let me just turn up the volume a little. Sorry, that you guys can see all of that. But moynick-sando is gone down. Now the question remains: will huge potential try and chase to get the flush? Or will they let him slowly bleed out? Ooh, interesting circle. We're headed on over to the southern island. Huh. So we just talked about how many teams actually went here. A little surprising as compared to the other islands. But then again, we did go over here. So I guess they knew something we didn't. Maybe Nailquap, he's gonna go down as well. Unfortunate for him. Not the not the start of the day you would have wanted. Maybe you've been to school, maybe you've been doing something else, and you come home and you've been preparing and hyping yourself up all day to play PUBG, and then the first game you get to play, you die immediately. That's of course not the way you wanna start the day. But xKeevo found himself a point proof, down to low HP as well. He did manage to get away though. You can see they know enoootuuuk is up there somewhere, but they don't really wanna chase him down, which makes perfect sense to me. There's no reason to really over-aggress on any of that proof. It's gonna get hopefully some hits real soon. TokTok, we don't see that weapon, or that vehicle being used very often. And Rizzo now being spotted from afar. That's over by ruins. They know for a fact that they have opponents nearby. And Marco and Rizzo, only 2 players there right now. They need to land some really good shots in order to buy time for their teammates to come. And Marco does just that. enoootuuuk down immediately. Nate is going to be thrown, trying to see if he can get the flush in there as we speak. Not going to happen. The destroyed vehicle blocks the damage. Zolters is still over on the other side, and they have alrein down there too. And obviously, with the player knocked, they need to make a play. Rizzo was taken down too, but seems like Marco will have the time to get the rest up towards his teammate. Yes, he does. They back off. I would assume at least that they back off and get back down towards the compound. Washout is crossing, as you can see there in the distance. So get the teammates over to assist, and you should be in a better situation. mnlt gone down as well. Asmadeyka manages to manages to find him. Zolters doesn't have any meds or utility, but he does have a shotgun. So that's of course a kind of interesting start to the game. You rarely ever see teams run around with shotguns for very long, but does have an S12K. It's not the new fancy shotgun, but a shotgun nonetheless. And I guess used in the right situation, they can work out pretty niftily. This guy PagyrA, actually his name is Raduga. I learned that way back in the day. That even though it's spelled with a P, it sounds like an R. It's just all these Russian letters that are meant to confuse you. Team Spirit, they got themselves a kill there, and seems like huge potential. Got the rest up towards enoootuuuk, and they will indeed make their way back towards ruins and further down towards the circles. They should be all kinds of safe with that. No big worries. No big worries for them at all. Existence, I guess it is. Existence. I'm just gonna call them existence, because I think that's what they try to make it sound like. Quick, he's looking down towards the guys on level on the other side of the road, and well, I mean, they did get the knock in the first time around, but seems like they've managed to make their way down to safety. As you can see, that whole hillside over there on the other side, fortunately now it's only one team there, but if other teams have to make that run through the open, there's just so many areas around this this kind of middle point, just in the southern side of Painan, where it's extremely open. MJ, they've been forced inside the southern side of the compound, as you can see here as well. From MJ up towards existence, look at how open it is. I mean, look at how extremely difficult it is to really do anything in this spot. INT finds one of the guys from Wildcats. BSD is gonna find himself flushed, unfortunately. Him out early, and we've lost quite a few players already. I think we only connected with 15 teams, so of course, only 5 kills, but still, I mean, everything considered, normally you play really smart and really safe in the first game. And Markelov around the side does get him down to low HP, not gonna be able to get anything off of it though, and he's not alone. There are more players coming. mnlt has already been taken down. He gets outside, and immediately Genso is there with the flush. So great play, despite being on low HP. Didn't even have time to heal up. He manages to make the play nonetheless. Good job by Genso. Him and PagyrA will try and stay put despite losing a teammate. And here we can see level Effie and Moonlight all by themselves. The rest is coming in towards Yaz, but they're being pressured as we speak. You can see the whole push across. If he does find one no-shot, OkShooter is out there too. Stratus gets stolen away. That's Quick up above. We saw them before. Existence sitting in the high ground position. Moonlight finds one more. That's Juno taken down. So the push from MJ Esports, they didn't really need to make that push across. Maybe they were feeling too pressured from Existence behind, but they try to cross, and all of a sudden, they're down to just 2 players. So not at all the success that they were hoping for in making this passing. Yaz does not have a helmet. This is, of course, not very optimal when you're in close quarter combat. Runs in, finds it. Wait, what? OkShooter had his weapon on his back, manages to pull it out and instantly headshots him. We just talked about these helmets. One bullet to the head with an AK. Boink. All he needed. That is unfortunate for Yaz. Now Jalil does go down. Moon found him. And it's a 2v1 Mini by himself on the other side. I mean, they can't do anything about this because Quick is still sitting up there. You can see both Quick and his teammate Trucky. They're still up in the hills above. And there's no reason for them not to just stay there and try and apply pressure. Now the circle goes west, and knowing, if you guys don't know that, I can tell you already that that the next circle, we don't wait until circle 4, we do this in circle 3, has to go away from water. So we're pretty sure where this next one is gonna go. It's going to go up towards those compounds on the southeastern side of what do you call it? I guess you can say northwest of Sami instead of far south from ruins. That's a little misleading. But on the northwestern side of where Sami is, you can find the compounds up there. Mini with a VSS. That's a little funny, right? Mini with a VSS. Haha, see what I did there? He's not in a good spot. He's inside the circle, yes. But I don't think Level are planning on disengaging this before they've killed him. And I don't think he can get out before Existence leave. And I don't think they're gonna leave before he's dead. So not exactly the best situation for him to be in here. I'm not sure exactly what he can actually do. If he is, well, they're sitting around still waiting for some sort of action, but they're also kind of on the quiet side of the circle now, because most teams have already made their way across the water, and a lot of them have managed to avoid this area. They saw, and we saw as well, the whole area and how open it is around this compound. And then of course with everyone shooting here as well, normally you'd think, ooh, shots fired, that's gonna be a kind of third party opportunity and everyone's gonna push it, but it's just so open there, and I really don't think anyone's gonna risk it, to be honest. Rewap or Multipower, I guess we can call them Multipower. They are it's just Multipower spelled backwards. mageBane, Finny, ewanng, and GuessWho. They're sitting there calm, and I don't think they have any reason to really leave. I mean, they know the circle is gonna go inward, but they're not really in a hurry to go anywhere. I'm actually kind of surprised to see FBI look that not aggressively, but look as much over in that direction as they are doing. You can see them being shot right now, forced to jump back into the position as which they were. And now we get them all pushing together. And I like this play. I really like this way that they're pushing across, honestly. I mean, there are different ways that people play Sanhok, obviously. There are different ways that people play all the maps. But I think one of the, you can't really say correct ways, but one of the ways that I've seen be successful the most time is, I mean, it's pretty much play the entire game. And we're talking from the second that you land till the game is over. Play the entire game as if it was one big city ending. That's pretty much the core. Play the entire match as if it's one big city ending, because it's kind of the same criteria. There's a billion places that the opponents can be hiding. You never know if there's one right next to you, and more often than not, it pays off to run at least 2 or 3, like if you're a 4-man team, obviously, to run together. And it also really, like, if you want to have kills, you stay on the edge. If you want to avoid fights, you sit in the middle, because the people in the middle never move anywhere. So there's a lot of the criteria that goes when having a city ending on any given map, which ends up being the same as, well, playing the entirety of Sanhok, essentially. Now let's see circle number 3. Of course, we kind of have an idea of where it's gonna go, but I'm pretty certain I know pretty much exactly where this one is gonna go. It's gonna center right over around Mike from HRC. Let's see. Yep, exactly there it goes, because it has to exclude as much water as possible. And of course, now it can go anywhere again. Now there's no rules anymore. It's just that circle 3 that we kind of sort of know exactly where it's gonna be headed. And this is a fun area. We've seen in the PEL other teams play it, like Knights. They've been down there. Reciprocity. Even TSM had a win in this area of the map. And there are many different ways. There are many different ways that you can really play this terrain. Either you can go aggressive and clear the center, or you can kind of try and hide it down. You can see Existence right now. They're not passive at all. They wanna let people know that they have this hilltop. Of course, that does require that you constantly, as you can see with Trucky, constantly move around, because they can push up from all different angles. And with 2 players down from the hill, well, they're kind of left alone up there. Sellis finds one on Pluto. Sellis been in the game for a long time. Very talented player. Quick gets knocked. That's not good. That's TYT TonyTeam. Blackliht finding him. Fortunately, that was timed with them getting a player knocked too, so couldn't really aggress on it immediately, and honestly don't really think they would probably push up here either. But we are seeing more and more teams kind of not stuck, but kind of stuck out on the eastern side of the circle. And if this one shifts west, that's going to be very, very difficult for, well, if not all, then quite a few of those teams on the eastern side. Margo found Asmadeyka. Keevo finds the return knock on towards Rizzo. So traded 1-for-1 between Huge Potential and FBI. And oh my lord, now Oko goes down too. Huge Potential. A little bit of third party coming in from them. Good angle from them holding the compound. You can see up by the T-cross on the northern side of the three-way intersection, whatever you want to call it. Up there on the northern side. They got a good angle onto one. Rizzo gets knocked again. Just over to get the res up onto one, and now he's down once more, and washout from the compound. Can't do a whole lot to really hold from where he is. PLS, Perfect God, Sando and company, they're trying to maneuver their way inside the circle, but Sellis and Stella there, as you can see, holding the compound right in front of them, and they can't really do a whole lot from the position they're in. Now Multi Power gets the third party too, so 4 different teams looking down towards where FBI breaches are, and that's just too much. I mean, they're out in the open already, and these smokes are only gonna last them so long, and then being focused by 4 different teams, there's just angles. I mean, literally everywhere, and you can't really do anything against that. Good knock on towards MOLNMAN from Crazy Crew. I'm not saying good knock because we saw it, but I'm saying good knock in terms of that allowing for teams to push further forward. Important knock at that, I guess you can say instead. Really, really important knock to manage to push himself further forward. With the entirety of Wildcats sitting in the blue. Okay, I don't think they noticed that. I don't think Vital knew at all that they were right next door. We didn't really know either. But look at this. They were all sitting behind the same rock, and I think Crazy Crew, they just got caught massively by surprise. Taravilo by himself against 4 opponents. This is not going to be easy. He has a 3x. 0 mets, 0 utility. Circle is starting to move in 40 seconds. This ain't good. This is not a good situation at all. He needs to do a hell of a lot of damage not to get a 0-point game here. And if you're Wildcat, you better play this one smart. They know exactly where he is. Nate's thrown forward now as well. Down to 1 HP, remember. 0 match on Taravilo. 0. So he ain't gonna get any higher than the 10% meds he has right now. And that's gonna be him dead as well. Crazy Crew out in last place. 15th is where they go. We only have 15 or 16 teams. I'm trying to see and look through which team it is that we don't have here. But unfortunately, I can't really figure it out. I'm sure we'll see after the game is over, though, who had 0 points. And then we'll go, wait, they weren't in the game. Minute is down. That's MJ Esports eliminated as well. And this Western Circle is indeed pushing in. It's not easy at all with these shifts moving further forward. We can't really see where the shift is gone. But now Sellis from the compound. They have to move too, keep that in mind. Stella are not inside the circle yet either. But they say, you know what, we need to focus on making sure that we don't have people pushing from behind before we ourselves start rotating in towards the circle, because then these people from behind are just going to be a kind of thorn in the heel, and they do not want to have that happen. One went down. That's Beami. He's going to go get a rest again. Genso, you need to land some more shots if you want to have a chance here. You can see Lassa over the top spots out one, but he's going to get shot at as well from Existence up above. So plenty of teams here caught kind of in the same area, and MOLNMAN realizing this has to run up the hill. They need to take the fight to Existence, essentially, because, well, they can't just run down to the next compound. It's not going to be inside the circle. Not going to be in, and it's not going to be easy to play from either. Beami running underneath all 4 players, except for Jambawe. He's kind of holding the back angle. All 4 players are running forward. It seems like Existence have, well, for now at least, committed to the fight. But you can see TonyTeam up there in the distance. They're shooting down towards him too again. So it's running forward, and this is exactly what they wanted to avoid. Just what they wanted to avoid. Fortunately, MOLNMAN and Jambawe can make an end to Istanbul. Wildcats push towards him. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is just a... If he got caught out by sneaky snakes, nothing he could do there. MOLNMAN and Stella, they're still pushing forward, but there are snakes waiting for them too. Quick is sitting around the corner. Dre found himself one. David is there as well. That's going to be 1 down. Quick finds himself 2. Dre found the other. There's only 1 more player left. It's just Sellis left alive, and he's going to go down, and this ambush from Existence works out to perfection. Wasn't a super aggressive play by no means, but they set up a trap. They waited. waited. They knew they were going to push into them, and they get themselves 4 kills and only losing 1 player in doing so. Very, very, very impressive play from Existence. Now, huge potential here. They need to push further forward, and they of course have to get inside this circle too. You can see that TonyTeam are above them. Feverino spots out 1, get the knock on towards him too, but Blackliht gets taken down, and that's actually going to be TonyTeam out of the out of the game. Alrein might be able to get the rest here. The circle is closing already, and no, that's not going to happen. Phase 5, don't even... I mean, what you can do is you get the res, and then he's gonna die to blue again, but at least then he dies to... then you deny the kill point. You deny the kill to the opponent. Intruder's gonna go down, enoootuuuk, yep, there you go, he goes down again. But this time around, he's not gonna give any points away to opponents. So even though there was no chance he could get back up, there's still going to be a guarantee, in the sense that he didn't give any points to their opponents. And with so few games played, every single point that you can avoid giving to an opponent, that's gonna be well done. Mikhailovic spots out Trey. It's gonna go down on all of PLS. They're holding this angle. They know that they have Existence inside the houses. They need to contain them though. And you can see now that Rewap or Milter Power, they're pushing down towards them. GuessWho and ewanng looking down in this direction where we have Boris. And Team Boris, I guess you can say. Sit in. ewanng, I guess, who they're kind of their duty is to make sure that the guys on the southern side don't make their way up towards him, because they want to have more space to work with. David is gonna make the run up. Gonna get tagged a little by the blue. It is a steep hill to run up, and oh my lord, that's a hard shift. That circle completely and utterly hard shifted back down towards where the guys are sitting. And look at where they are right now. I mean, Existence are almost inside the next circle. That's how hard shifty it hard shifted. Oh my, wow. Headshot. Oh, one more tag. No, Extends. Just needed to land one more. Had the headshot to begin with, but weren't able to find anything else. I guess it's kind of ironic that hard shift, the team name hard shift, got a hard shift. Is that part of the thing? If you have a team name called HeartShift, then you also get hard shifts. So if your team is called 20 kills, then you get 20 kill games every time. I think a lot of teams could consider that, if that's the case. I don't think it actually matters though. XKeevo throwing a smoke in the back of his teammate's head, and then he shoots him in the back of his head. XKeevo? Or was that mageBane? I'm pretty certain XKeevo just shot his teammate in the back of his head. I'm not sure exactly what the idea behind it was. First he throws a Molotov. First he throws a smoke grenade, boink, onto his face, and then he shoots him. That was a little interesting, but we'll act as if that never happened. Zolters gonna go down. FBI Breach is still trying to stay alive, and oh no, that's gonna be them down. Yep, indeed it is. Team Spirit, they're taken out. Couldn't do anything more. Tried to get out of Nakama, and there's just... I mean, when you have that whole wall, essentially, around the compound, and you have to vault over all through, that's practically going to be impossible. mageBane and his team, they might eventually have to leave this wall as well at some point. Right now they can stay put. Right now they can still stay inside the compound, but they might want to start pushing up that hill. Let's see where the next circle goes. It does go to hard shift. Interesting. Hard shift gets the hard shift once more. It's not really a hard shift. I mean, it has to go somewhere, and I guess this is one of the more center circles. Had to go somewhere, and they get it. 5 teams left alive, 21 minutes into the game. And now let's see. Boris, PLS, making their way forward. They know for a fact that you have Milter Power down here. Ooh, nades thrown, 1 knock on each side. A lot of nades and a lot of utility being pushed forward on both sides. ewanng pushing over the top, mageBane, and GuessWho are there to follow as well. Mikhailovic goes down to blue. Finny gets eliminated as well. We still have Existence players on the other side, and now Extends. Oh, look at the man! Look at the amount of damage these blue circles are doing. I mean, it's phase 7. A lot of damage are being done, and that could be the difference in whether they stay alive or not after that firefight. So Boris, they're all down to proning. They're going to prone and crawl the way forward. Of course, there's a lot on the line here for all these teams. Gets their first hit up, and the last circle is going to go north. It's going to go right in between huge potential and hard shift. Good knock on towards GuessWho. Gets the flush in there as well. Now one comes over the top. That's going to be ewanng. He gets one, but he's going to go down immediately after. And nade's thrown forward too. And that's going to be rewap or Mills of Power, as you'd probably call them, eliminated. And oh, nade on point. Boris taken down as well. All of a sudden, Quick comes out of nowhere. And that's going to be HeartShift now taking casualties. They have 4 kills already. Quick goes down too. MJO is there to hold the angle. That nade should... nah, it's a bit too far away. But he's going to go down to the blue anyway, I think. David is still there. That nade should definitely finish him off. Johannes does manage to do it on the other side. And then huge potential. I mean, they were fighting so much earlier. They were fighting so much in the early game. Huge potential. David does go down. That's them in third. And then now we have 3 alive. Mike, MJO, and Johannes up against alrein and GRHawk. Alrein already down a 1v3 now, but GR ain't gonna be easy. Ain't gonna be easy at all. He has 1 nade, but of course if you throw your nade now and they see where it's coming from, that's gonna be your position giving up, and they haven't really found him just yet. They have to leave that compound. He's gonna be in a better place. One gets spotted out. That's the first knock. Not a lot of bullets for him available. Tries to throw the nade over to get the knock. Has a UMP. Okay. Still has a full... Oh, and that's a nade. And that's an 8 HeartShift. They win the game after a few HeartShifts. And you can see right here, just as I said before, I mean, Zolters and the huge potential. They were fighting from the very start, but then things kind of quieted down for them up on that northern side. All of a sudden, everyone was fighting on the south. And well, they managed to get a 2nd place with kills nonetheless, so they should be pretty satisfied with that, I would say. This one right here, the headshot, we just talked about it for Yaz. He knew, no helmet available for him, couldn't do a whole lot, and well, manages to at least get 1 knock. I think he had 1 flush before he got taken out. So interesting Sanhok game. Of course, Sanhok game's always quite interesting, but interesting in the sense that everyone was fighting, like trying to get into the circle. Normally, you have all these teams trying to clear out the center first, and then the edge fights happen, but this was just all edge. Nobody ever fought in the middle early on. Everything was on the edge of the circles, on the edge of the island, I guess you can say as well. And there was never really any big engagements before the end of this play. I mean, that play we just saw before from Existence. Some would call it the cowardice way of engaging. I mean, how you just prone and wait. But there were 4 guys. They knew we are 4. 4 people are going to be coming running to us. If we just prone it here, I mean, this is their only gateway to the circle. If we just prone out here, wait for them, then we'll get the kill. Because they were busy trying to deal with the last remaining Istanbul Wildcat players. And while they did that, they kind of... I don't know if they forgot about Existence, but I think they thought they would have run further in, which they then didn't. And Existence, I think, must have had the most kills in the game. Maybe the Hinners, they get themselves 7 kills. So I think they might be tied. But I'm pretty certain that the Hinners had something around there as well. We'll have to wait and see in the leaderboards afterward. But that, my friends, was game number 1. We're gonna go to a short break, and then we'll throw you guys a 2nd game in just a few moments. So stick around and see you soon.